When it comes to twisted stitches, for once, the knitting world has not come up with a misnomer. The twisted stitches are exactly what they claim to be. They are stitches where the legs are crossed or twisted. In the previous video, I talked about how to think about not getting twisted stitches in a very easy way that applies to literally every knitting style. But many of you asked me how to get the twisted stitches on purpose, for example, in a pattern like this, where I want my stitches to be twisted. So for twisted stitches, we are exclusively looking at which stitch leg is farthest away from the needle tip. If your stitch is standing like this, it's slanted this way, then the farthest leg from the needle tip is this one, and then we knit through the back leg. This is a typical way how the stitches will stand for Western Continental, for English style, and for combination continental knitters if we are knitting on round. And the same thing obviously applies also when you need to twist the purl stitch. You just look at which leg is farthest away from the needle tip. In this case, it's this leg, and so you purl through that leg. Right here, though, I'm knitting combination continental flat, so my stitches are standing differently. The farthest leg from the needle tip is this front one, so we would knit through that leg to create a twisted stitch. For combination continental knitters, this is a special case. We also want for our stitches to be turning the same exact way for every stitch. The easiest way for us how to get evenly turned stitches is to slip the knit stitch purlwise and then knit through the back leg. We do it that way because when we turn our work around, and because of the pattern we also need to do this purl stitch twisted, it's easiest for us to just do the purl stitch through the back leg and not worry about its placement. Of course, that little interlude applies only to the combination continental knitters. The rest of you don't really need to worry about it. And in my previous videos I already explained how to read your knitting so you can recognize if you're doing twisted stitches just by looking at your knitting, and also I explained when I would use twisted stitches as opposed to non-twisted stitches.